In the West, film and television have become staples of culture. With the emergence of the internet, film and television have become widely and easily accessible, especially content outside of the Western sphere, like K-drama, J-drama, and Bollywood to name a few. One such category of film and television from outside of the Western sphere is Japanese animation, which has become widely popular throughout the West. This video aims to discuss the hybridization of Japanese animation within the Western film industry. Japanese animation, commonly referred to as anime, refers to a style of Japanese film and television. These Japanese animations are often the direct adaptation of manga stories, of which manga and Japanese comic and graphic novels. Anime and manga have become a staple of Japanese culture, with the industry being valued at $24.8 billion in 2021, according to the Grand Review Research. This large industry value has attracted commodification from companies and people within the West, especially those within the United States. Companies have been adapting anime for Western audiences for some time now. Currently, in contrast to earlier adaptation, anime is less adapted to suit Western audiences, unlike in the early 2000s and in the 1900s. In these earlier days, anime films and television would have cut scenes, renamed characters, and rewritten scripts on top of being stripped of original ideologies, idioms, and distinct imagery like foods and festivals in order to appeal to a Western viewership. In direct contrast to today, in 2022, anime is usually left untouched when released outside of Japan. Only subtitles and sometimes an English dub is produced alongside the original animation and story. A prime example of the hybridization and adaptation of anime within the West can be seen in the first release of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind by Studio Ghibli. The Western release of this film had 23 minutes and 36 seconds of cut content, a change in the film poster, a new name, Warrior of the Wind, and altered character names like Princess Nausicaa, who became Princess Sandra. The film was also marketed with an entire main cast of male characters despite the female lead, who, also despite the marketing, was still the main character in the Western release. Other examples include TV series like Pokemon, Astro Boy, Dragon Ball, and One Piece. One Piece and Pokemon are both notorious for their changing of rice balls to things like cookies and donuts. Dragon Ball had its entire soundtrack changed, a few character names changed, removal of crying, and removal of death from the story. Astro Boy also had name changes, and similarly to Nausicaa, had scenes altered and cut, as well as poor translations and script changes to alter the overall narrative to a Western superhero story. The manipulations and the hybridization of anime for the Western audience have been occurring for many years, Astro Boy 1963 being a prime example. These early adaptations saw companies try to localize content that shouldn't be or can't be effectively altered to directly appeal to a new Western audience without losing the intentions of the original director and writer. Bryce explains many manga and especially anime as audio and linguistic elements are readily manipulated and have been altered to suit local audiences. This adapted hybridized form of anime enables and propels a skewed misinformed view of Japanese people and their culture. According to Spielmann, these altered characters and narratives enable the West with its one-sided external perspective to judge manga and anime through a skewed lens. The shift from the original Japanese media to a Western hybridized product strips meaning from the original art form. Japanese anime and manga from their source hybridized products of Japanese scrolls and American comics. The intercultural connection between Japanese and Western media that manga and anime are founded upon is integral to the format. The shift in context and departure from the Japanese cultural aspects when an adaptation occurs creates irregularities in both media dialogue and narrative. If this is the case for all altered anime, then the question arises, why do so? Commodification seems to be the direct reason for these poor adaptations. In the same manner, you see Survivor, Big Brother, and The Bachelor globalized. Companies wish to create product from foreign media, treating the media as a format and then altering the original product to appeal to any audience outside of the source country. It is clear to see the adapted hybridized products released to suit Western audience is harmful and seeks to strip away the original Japanese art and culture. These hybridized products reinforce incorrect external cultural perspectives of Japan and its culture.